What's up, fans? This is Luna here with another King Arthur Legends Rise video. And today I wanted to kick it off with a mini series on what I think are the best 3 rares in the game. And these are champions that are not just like specialists in one area, but they could be great across multiple dungeons, multiple content of the game, used very early game, but also even used in the mid to late game as well. So, without trying to take too long here, hopefully have a shorter video for you guys today. But I will be looking at doing a little mini series on like certain rares that are specialists in the game too. So other rares you definitely want to invest in. But again, this is kind of my take and my opinion. But in any of these 3 rares that I'll cover over these next few videos that'll be coming out. But first off, number 3 here, I'm going Mr. Baldwin. Mr. Baldwin could definitely be a game changer for you early on in the game. And you think, why is that? Well, mainly because of this skill here, right? Grants all allies share damage for 2 turns, and also grants all allies defense increase 2 for 3 turns, right? So there's a lot of other champions, I think even some rares that only do a increased defense of 1 versus the 2. But so why is this so important, right? So as you're trying to progress in areas of the game, especially when you get to, say, Origin of Apolia, right? You're trying to get further down in that dungeon or increasing the levels, and you can just get wiped out. So I even use Baldwin on my team now, which we'll go over here in a little bit. But also for his Frost Relic, he also has a 70% chance to inflict a attack decrease 2 for 3 turns, which is also huge. However, this is only on his Frost Relic. His other relics, they all have the shared damage and increased defense, but just not that increase or attack decrease rather. They do, I can't remember what exactly. Oh yeah, silence, chance to remove a dot, and a silence and chance to remove a dot as well. So definitely can be used in Blazing Gorgos, right? Because he has a chance to remove the dot. But there are other characters that are going to do better than him in those. But we'll take a quick look at his passives here. 50% chance to trigger when afflicted with a normal status, right? Remove 1 a normal status from all allies. And then grants all allies defense increase 3 for 1 turn, right? Which is definitely huge for Origin of Apolia because of that abnormal status. Then at the start of the battle, grants shield 30% of max HP to 2 random allies for 3 turns. And then grants abnormal status immunity to a random ally for 1 turn, right? So, go over his build real quick. I do have him in a Vigor and a Life set just because of that shield. And again, you could kind of maximize defense and HP, right? Because he's not really in there for damage. I do have attack speed on the ring. And I just have him in a Unity set, right? Because it helps out the other allies that are same element, provides this unity, which is attack and defense up. And you see here, this is just random pieces that I pulled, nothing really fancy, right? But you don't really need 6-star crazy unity sets, right? Because you just want to get that attack and defense up for allies who are the same, using the same relic rather. All right, so been talking this guy up already. So where is he good in? Okay, so kind of a better question is, where is he not good in, right? I would say definitely as progressing through arena, right? He can be huge because of that attack decrease down, removing a normal status, and also that shared damage. So definitely not used though in the mid to later arena, but definitely a viable option just to get you started to help share some of that damage. Okay, where are some areas he's great at? I would say playing at Beast if you're having problems with taking those massive hits. Frozen plane as well. Again, you will need other characters alongside him, right? Because he's just there to minimize the damage that your team is taking. Equipment dungeons. He's great for YSK. Again, I don't use him because I have Anika, so he's not really needed. Because I would say YSK doesn't hit as hard as Apolia does. But he definitely can be used as you're progressing. I definitely used him early off, especially with that Frost Relic, right? To put that attack decrease down. But in Origin of Apolia, I actually even run him in a team that I'm doing now, right? And again, you could use Morgan's Frost Relic if you have it, or even the Flame Relic, right, because of that defense down. But I have the Storm one here because I picked it up in the shop, and I'm not really worried about defense and attack up for Nika and Morgan, obviously, because they're not damage dealers, but definitely for Iroet, right, because she is taking advantage of the attack increase. So we'll go ahead and throw him in a battle here, and you can see kind of what he's bringing to the team. And this first wave is usually pretty quick and easy. Now, when I wasn't using Baldwin, I had another support in there like Ain, for example, and I could clear the content, but it was mainly about 30–40% win rate, just mainly because of the lack of gear and stuff that I have in my account. Again, this is not a speed run, but in this game, I mean, there's really no benefit other than just time, right, of having to finish this dungeon in, say, 20 seconds or something crazy. But I will go over the skill order set after this as well. But you can see Morgan in there, huge, bringing that defense down and the damage increase taken. And then see Baldwin just kicked in there as share defense, which is great. And then if he does get that brainwash on him for a little bit, that's okay. It's not going to impact the run here. And what's great is not having the brainwash go on your other characters, because if it ends up going to Morgan, and then she puts one of your other characters asleep, it can just end up being crazy and you can lose the run. But like I said, I shift over from Ain, right, who is an awesome legendary character. Definitely can be used in this equipment dungeon as well. But with bringing in Baldwin here, chain went from like 30–40% to 100% win rate. Now again, this is obviously slower than if I had Ain, right, mainly because of those counterattacks and the damage that she can do. But definitely, I'd rather get the higher win rate, right? Even though you don't consume your energy, it's still great that you're not having to go back and then just kind of reruns, keep doing the same dungeon over and over again. So it looks like most of this stuff, I have so much bad equipment on my account. One thing I'll probably keep is just this 6-star life piece here and just kind of get rid of everything else. But okay, yeah, so Origin of Apolia, I used him for not so much Fortress of Archelaus, which you could though, because again, that's sheer damage. Earlier stages of Padarge, I used him in, right? Because of you do have to take a lot of damage there. But that's more of a, definitely more of a later mid-game to end-game type of dungeon. Dimensional Rift, if you're struggling, right, because a lot of those characters hit hard, you can do it there. Currently, I'm also using him in my Talos team, and so are some other teams are kind of running him as well. So you see kind of an end-game here. Now, granted, I'm not reaching the 100 or over 100 plus hearts on this, but still, I think the current one I have here, I think is 69 hearts. And I think that's actually the most I've ever gotten in a single Hall of Conquerors dungeon. But you can use Hall of Conquerors, Forbidden Dungeon, obviously favorite dungeon, but Forbidden Dungeon, right? Because once you get to some of these later stages, a lot of these characters can hit really hard. So again, having that shared damage, but also if you have that Frost Relic, having that attack decrease land as well is also very beneficial. And it just occurred to me, I totally just went all crazy and forgot to go over the skill order set that I used them in real quick. So we'll look at that real quick. And I'm just solely spamming Anika's A3 because of the heals. Just solely using A2 here for Morgan because that defense down. And then for Iroet because this is not a very long battle. I'm just slowly using her A3, and it's nice having someone like Nika in there. But even if you don't have these other legendary characters, like I said, when I was progressing through this dungeon, Baldwin is definitely good, and you get Morgan right off the bat anyways. And then there's some other healers and attack-based champions you can use against this boss as well. And then just solely going between the A3 and the A2 for Baldwin there to try to make sure I have the attack decrease down, and then obviously making sure I'm having that shared defense up. So, now again, this character, I wouldn't say he's the best in every area of the game, but if you look at it, he's great also for the story mode. I've already completed the story mode. and the adventure. He's good in both, because again, when you get later on in those levels, those enemies are pretty fast, and you're not going to have the best speed on your teams because of progression, right? But having that share damage and attack decrease is definitely huge for progression. He's great in Coliseum for progression. Like I said, he can be used in pretty much all of the power dungeons. I'd say Burning Lands is probably his least, where he'd be least effective. Even in Taraskir, because Taraskir can hit really hard as well. Like I said, in all of the equipment dungeons, especially for progression, you can use them. Like I said, I use him in my Apalia team. And even if they were to come back and add more levels, I'd probably keep the same team and maybe just kind of tweak from there. Like I said, he's great for Hall of Conquerors. I'm currently using him now. And if we were to look at some of the global teams, I think so you see him in there with his Frost Relic. Some people might be using his Flameless Realm. I have to go back and maybe change over to his Frost Relic. Because I did recently, not long before starting this video, I actually maxed him out to 70 and also maxed out his relics out to 60 as well. Because previously I had all his relics just stopped at 50. So even having him at 50 going through Origin of Apalia and other areas of the game wasn't a problem for me. But I'll have to go back and do Hall of Conquerors again, just to see if maybe I can squeak out to get that one more heart to get to 70. And that would just be phenomenal, because of having that, I think will break my new personal record there. So again, first look at him, he doesn't seem that great. Like, share damage, attack decrease, where's my damage at, all right? So when you're setting up a team, you want to have a healer, you want to have someone support, you definitely want to have a nuker, right? But having someone like Baldwin in there as that 4th spot for that survivability can be very, very beneficial and very huge for your account. So at the end of the day, I would definitely recommend investing in Baldwin, and I would also invest in all of his relics if you have the resources, right? But if you only want to start with one, I would definitely do his Frost first, or if you want to max out one relic, I would do his Frost first, because of that attack decrease that he can do. But then next video, I'll look at what my opinion is the second or the number 2 best rare in the game, right? Then obviously I'll for number 1, and then I'll look at doing that mini series for the specialist. But again, Baldwin is a great character, not much to look at, but definitely don't sleep on this guy, because he can definitely be beneficial for your account. But that's all I got for you guys today, and thanks for stopping by.